I mentioned that our engine has now become an important part of our business, and it really is the future for the moment. We are in the process of setting a joint venture where production of the engine will occur in Romania, Great Britain, India, and the United States. And we're very excited about that because the engine I'm talking about is, you know, the size of my fist is a 5 horsepower engine. The engine that's in the Skycar, which produces 150 horsepower, is the size of a bucket that you would use in the laundry room. So we've got this capability that's taken us gain tens of millions of dollars in many years. The problem that I'm trying to emphasize here is that when you build a vehicle like this, you don't just build an aircraft. You have to build electronics. We designed all our own electronics. We did all our own software. We designed all our own engines, and we built all our own engines right here in Davis. And also constructed the aircraft from scratch with new composite materials. So it's a lot more complicated than just first putting the science out there. It's the technology that takes the time. It's the technology of making that science which looks like it'll work and is possible, and making it in fact work. This is the kind of the key element in the technology you see here. This fan is about 24 inches in diameter, 2 feet in diameter, has two potentially 145 horsepower engines. These engines are only 11 inches in diameter and about 11 inches long. And you can see trying to get all of these various elements into this very small package was an extremely complex process, and one of the things that took us the most time in the development of the vehicle. This next flight is not as clear as I would like, but it gives you some sense of some of our flights. Many of you probably have seen this if you visit our website, moller.com. You can see it in its entirety. This is, you see I have a cable there, but quite frankly, that was more for psychological satisfaction. If I had really fallen out of the sky, the probability of that cable doing very much for me, as you see, would not be great, but it did make my wife and my daughter feel a bit happier. This is another application of the Skycar, and of course when you're starting out you're looking for sort of paramilitary applications because you know, you're not going to sell it to the next door neighbor right away. You're going to have to get out and get a lot of experience with it before it really becomes a marketable product. So we are looking at many ways to use the vehicle in situations which are not possible today with anything else like the helicopter. I've been the test pilot for 45 years, and fortunately I'm still here with you. We haven't flown it very often without a tether because clearly there's a lot of risk. Many of the years we flew it without a redundant computer in the vehicle so that if a 10-cent resistor burned out, the danger of coming down upside down was clearly there. I'm often asked, what is it like when you're flying this? Because there's only been one other person besides me that's flown this. It really is a truly magic carpet experience. When you're in a helicopter, for those who might have been there, you have the sensation you're being lifted up from above. And while that's pretty exotic and quite thrilling, it's a great deal of difference between when you're lifted up from below, the magic carpet sensation. So, you know, all of these years, I've only flown a couple hundred times, but let me tell you, it was worth it to have those flights in during that period of time. And what it does for me when I'm flying, it brings back that sort of reinvents for me that hummingbird experience, that experience of seeing that hummingbird hovering for that few seconds before it zipped away. I've spent these years really looking to imitate that flight in a way that could be practical for you and I, something that we could use in this coming infrastructure. And I want to emphasize that this infrastructure I referred to, where you saw the line curving up, that really is underway. I mean, we are building it. Of course, the government goes very slow, and until highways come to a complete stop, I'm not certain they're going to be that serious about it, but they are putting the components in place that you will be able to fly as a passenger rather than a pilot within the next 5-10 years. But the magic's there. It is really, truly a magic experience, and that experience makes it all worthwhile. It makes the 5+ decades of work worthwhile, and it brings us to where we are today, where we're moving to the next level with another business producing engines so that we can underwrite the costs of what we like to do most. I want to leave you with a little summary of what I've learned in the years that I've been doing this. And it really is a definition of what happens in the process of developing new radical technology. This really summarizes my experience, and I appreciate very much the opportunity of sharing it with you. I'll be here to answer any number of questions because I really haven't dwelt on some of the details, like, you know, how high does it go, what fuel does it burn, many of the questions that typically people love to know about, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you very much.